Tree Talking Time is brought to you by Conkeys Outdoors. Get all your hound hunting needs at conkeys.com. Welcome to Tree Talking Time, where we talk all things tree dogs, from the smallest fights to the largest hounds, treating squirrels to bears and everything in between. And from time to time, we might even run a little fast game. Welcome back to another episode of Tree Talking Time. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving and is recovering from overeating. I know I am. Just wanted to make an announcement that there has been a change. If you were interested in Tree Talking Time shirts, you now can find them at treetalking.com. Just launched that last week, and actually there's some new designs up on there as well. I know if you've already checked it out, or if you do check it out, there's not a representation of every breed, and just give me some time. I'm working on it. So there is a treeing walker shirt, a blue tick, a black and tan, and a red bone, plus the original design that was up. Added also a couple of youth sizes, so got some youth and toddler shirts available now as well. As we're moving towards the holidays, be sure to check out all the sponsors. Conkeys, Full Cry, and W have all had some great sales. I'm sure they'll continue to do that between now and Christmas. I know Full Cry has gift subscriptions. I know there's a lot of apparel. I'm looking at upgrading my Garmin this year, so maybe Santa will be good to me and help me out with that. So, but for all your hound hunting needs and also just all your hound hunting wants, check out the sponsors.
I guess, I'm Montana Buffington. I'm from Ripley County, Missouri. I've been coon hunting most of my life. What really got it going for me was went out with some guys, some local coon hunters, and I was 11 years old. All three dogs split trees, and all three dogs had coons, and ever since I've been hooked.
There you go.
But yeah, no, my best dog was probably my old Copper dog.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Plott dog, and I had a lot of fun with him.
He kind of put you on the map.
Yes, sir. He definitely got my start as far as competition coon hunting went.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the accomplishments you've won with him?
I won the Isaiah Kidd Award, which, if you don't know, listeners that don't know what that is, that's pretty much the king and queen of Plott days. They give it out an Isaiah Kidd Award to the high scoring male and high scoring female. But I won 2 years in a row with Copper.
Nice.
Plott days, won the Isaiah Kidd Award, and then they canceled it, I think, the next year after that, and I took him back the next year when they had it in Michigan, and I got first place with Copper one night at Plott days that year as well. But I had a lot of fun with him, and we won double cast wins at the Winter Classic one year, and high scoring Plott dog at the Winter Classic a couple different years.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You've hauled him to town a few times then.
Yes, sir. And I got in the top 16 in Missouri with him, and I thought that was pretty cool to put a Plott in the top 16 of a state race.
Yeah, definitely. Is he still alive?
No, sir. He passed away probably about 6 or 8 months ago.
Gotcha. How old was he?
About 10 years old.
Gotcha. Now, did you get him as a puppy, or did you get him as an older dog?
I got him when he was about to be 3. Joe Pride, who is my partner on a lot of the dogs I have, I've been hunting his line of dogs ever since 2016 is whenever I started hunting some of Joe's dogs, and it turned into a really good friendship, and we've got dogs together now, and we've had several of them.
Nice.
And I met Joe in 2014 at the Plott days, first one I ever attended.
Okay.
I had my dad and a friend of local coon hunter. We loaded up and went to Plott days. I didn't know anybody, but there I just had a Plott dog, and I wanted to go. And because to be honest with you, I hadn't really saw but maybe 1 or 2 other Plotts than mine, because there aren't any where I'm from. And, that's I thought I wanted to go to Plott Days, and it was a really cool experience. That's where I met Joe Pride, and we we've been friends ever since.
I would say unless you're from like Appalachia, the Great Lakes region, or Maine, like you're probably not gonna see a lot of Plott dogs.
No, sir. And most the other one or two Plotts I did see, they were hog dogs, so
Yeah.
they weren't even coon dog Plotts,
Yep. No, that's
But,
what I'm saying. I'm naming off bear hunting hotspots because that's where you see more Plotts than anything.
Right.
What made you get pick Plotts over anything else?
Man, I went to the coon club, local coon club, whenever I was a kid, 11 or 12 years old, and I said that I wanted a Plott. I'd seen pictures of them,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple of the guys there told me, "Oh, you'll never win nothing with a Plott. Plotts aren't coon dogs. They don't tree, this and that." And I don't know. I just that made me want one even more.
There you go.
And nobody had them. Everybody talked like you couldn't win with one, and I just kind of made my mind up right then and there that no matter what I had or how many I had to go to, or no matter how much I had to hunt, I was going to come up with a good one.
There you go. That's funny.
But no, and I am a Plott guy at heart, but everybody that knows me knows, if a Chihuahua tree a coon, I'll hunt it, or
Yeah.
if it can win, I'll hunt it. I'll say it that way because I don't care what color they are, but it definitely is cool to take one to town that's crazy colored.
Oh yeah. No, I'm an off-colored guy, so dog guy. So cur dogs, leopards, Plotts, are what I've had. So
yes, sir. I like a leopard dog too.
never owned a walker.
I've got walkers. I've got a black and tan. Got a couple leopards. I mean, I'm not colorblind by any means.
There you go. And you've done some win with that leopard too.
Yes, sir. Trooper. Trooper is probably my second favorite dog I've ever turned loose, other than Copper.
Nice.
I actually, when I got Trooper, I actually started him with Copper.
Okay.
I mean, he was started, but he'd been probably hunted a dozen times when I got him. He'd go hunt some, but I started taking him with my old Copper dog, and after just 2 or 3 nights, he was split treeing from him, and it really didn't take a whole lot to really get Trooper going. He was pretty well natural.
Nice. He's out of Jason Keene's Moose Dog, right?
Yes, sir. He's directly out of Moose, and I don't remember quite what age Trooper made grand, but I think he was the youngest. He made grand younger than any leopard before.
Okay.
But he Trooper, he's got a great big mouth for a leopard dog, and he hunts hard, really like a walker dog. To be honest with you, a lot of the leopard guys probably don't really care for the way he hunts when they draw him because he's going to take you hunting, but he will tree coons.
I've heard that about Moose. I've never hunted with Moose, but I heard he basically was a big black and tan leopard colored walker. He hunted like a walker, but
that's the way Trooper is. Trooper's a hard, really, really hard hunting dog. Honestly, sometimes he'll put you in a bind. But no, Kevin Crane is my buddy. He's got Trooper, and I sold Trooper to Kevin back. I think it was in 2018 after I put a couple wins on Trooper, and then a couple years later, Kevin hollered at me and asked me if I wanted to go back to hunting Trooper for him, and we've just we've bred him to several females, and I think James Atwell won Leopard Days with him and won the NKC World Hunt with him in 2020. And
nice.
For a leopard dog, he's been fun. He's really made some noise.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't realize he was grand.
Yes, sir. And I think he needs about $12 to be a PKC champion.
Okay. You been getting him in some PKC, huh?
Yes, sir. He's probably been in a dozen of them.
Do you hunt a lot of PKC?
That's what I mean. I don't just hunt every weekend anymore. But if I'm going to go to one anymore, it's usually a PKC hunt.
Okay.
I always go to the UKC Winter Classic and the UKC Plott Days. But if anymore, I usually go to a PKC hunt.
Gotcha.
I enjoy both, but
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of like the way the dogs hunt and the PKC hunts.
Gotcha.
But
Now, kind of going back to from the very beginning, you got started. What made you want to coon hunt?
man, I really, so the very first time I went, I was I was a little boy, like 5 years old. My great granddad, well, he passed away when I was 7,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't never knew anything about coon hunting after that, or never heard anything about it after that.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever I was about 11 years old, we was in art class at school, and I saw a boy drawing a picture of a dog tree and a coon. And I asked him about it, and he said, "Yeah, my stepdad, he's got coon dogs and this and that." And actually talking about Kevin Payne, he's from Southern Missouri, and I asked him, I said, "Man, can I go with y'all?" And he said, "Yeah, And Kevin reached out to me and called me and invited me to go with them. And that's why I told you the 3 dogs split
Yeah.
tree, and they all 3 had coons. That was, uh, I guess, what sparked my interest was going with my great granddad when I was a little bitty boy.
Yeah. So your great grandfather planted that seed, and then luckily, as a kid, you were
Yes,
able to
sir.
find some other guys that were able to take you. That's pretty cool.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's not like you're that old. How old are you now?
23.
I was about to say, I figured you were early 20s.
Yes, sir.
But like I said, you've made some noise for only being involved for a short period of time.
I appreciate that.
Give me some good stories about these off-colored dogs.
Uh, Man, I like there's a place south of where I lived at in Missouri there. I actually just recently moved to South Arkansas, and it ain't nothing but a pine thicket down here. I'm just going to tell you that. And coon hunting's totally different. But where just thinking of a really good hunt I had, we drew out Mingo Wildlife Area has a draw hunt every year, and it's over Duck Creek, Missouri. It's real delta-like hunting, swamps, flooded timber, big timber, and I put in for it there for 2 or 3 years, and got drew for it one year, and we we went in there and we started a little after 6 p.m. and we hunted till midnight, and I think we treed 17 singles, and that's probably the funnest hunt that I can remember in my part of the country.
Mm-hmm. Now, are you hunting copper?
We was hunting copper and some other dogs, and one would be treed through here, little piece, not very far. Another one would be treed the other way, little piece, and it was just coons, lots of coons. The reason they started that draw hunt was because it had been a refuge and had not been coon hunted for over 50 years.
Oh, wow.
And so the coons were just overpopulating and tearing up a lot of stuff and couldn't hardly go up and down the road without running them over. So they opened the season, and man, I mean, I know now that they've been having the draw hunt a few years. It's still good, a lot of coons, but those first couple of years there were just coon everywhere.
Yeah.
And anybody that's hunted there will tell you that it's beautiful hunting. It looks a lot like Louisiana or the Delta. I mean, it's totally different than a lot of Missouri.
Mm-hmm. Now, what part of Missouri did you say you were from?
A little town called Fair Dealing. It's kind of where the Ozark Hills meet the flat Delta-like kind of ground.
Okay.
Kind of the foothills.
So you kind of had a variety of terrain to hunt then?
Yes, sir. I could drive 15 minutes north and hunt straight up and down hills, or I could drive 15 minutes south and hunt swamps and bayous and rice fields and cornfields. I mean, being a total different kind of woods.
That's crazy. But that's good for getting dog ready for competition. That way you can hunt different. Especially if you're traveling.
Right. And living there, I could really put a dog in just about any kind of situation that they were ever going to be in, and in any kind of the country that they were going to be in.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like it was a pretty good place to raise some dogs and hunt.
Yes, sir. And I found me a couple spots here in South Arkansas to hunt, but I'm still trying to find places. It's totally different down here. Everything's a lease, and there's not near as much public land like there is right there where I lived at in Missouri.
What made you move all the way to Arkansas?
A woman. A woman.
There you go.
Yeah.
Too funny.
No, I've started a new job down here and doing HVAC, and so I've been doing that. And
good deal.
Hunting a couple places that I got, but I'm definitely trying to find more places.
Mm-hmm. So how many dogs do you have currently?
I've got them scattered out, all over the place. But at my house, I've got 4 of them.
Gotcha.
Couple Plott. They're grand pups to Copper.
Okay.
They're out of the Sally female I won the Isaiah Kid Award with back in June. So they'd be grand pups to Copper. And then I've got a couple crossbred pups I'm hunting, and I've got an old Walker bitch directly off of Zeb 3 at the house. But I've sent a lot of my other dogs to my partners or to somebody to hunt them because I don't have the places down here to really hunt more than one dog at a time like I did up there in Missouri.
Yeah.
Those places I had in Missouri, I mean, big woods. You could send a dog one way and send one the other way, and you send another one the other way if you want to, But here, the places I've got, I can't really do that. I've really got to watch where they go, and it's totally different.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Now, what did you said? You got some crossbred dogs. What are they?
They're also Steve Yant, jock dog, jocked up and tripping. He's a platinum champion. And the mother is Sally, the female I just mentioned. She's a Plott.
Okay. How old are they?
They are, I think, coming on 11 months old.
Okay. How are they coming along?
They're doing good. They chase about everything, but they're tree coons, and I think after this winter that they're going to be all right.
Good deal.
But they don't call much nothing. They like to run stuff.
What made you take Sally to a walker?
Man, I don't know. Just I wanted to breed. I just wanted to breed to a big time winner, and I wanted to breed something that I thought was as good or better than her. And I really didn't know of anywhere, plot wise, there wasn't nowhere in my area to take her, and I just wanted to see how it turn out. Really, I just wanted to breed what I thought was a world class walker dog to a nice plot and see what I'd come up with.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not colorblind at all. I just like coon trees.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Conkeys Outdoors is proud to be a sponsor of Tree Talking Time. Family, hunting, tradition is the Conkeys motto. They understand the importance of passing down the tradition of hound hunting. They are a family-owned business that treats you like family. They also understand the importance of having the gear you need when you need it. Conkeys carries everything for your next hunt, and it ships to your door quick. They also offer great warranties on all tracking systems and financing options. Check them out at conkeys.com. You can also use the code TreeTalkingTime5 in all caps to save as well. So have you had luck with pups off of Copper then?
Yes, sir. I've got a dual grand male off of Copper, and he's a 4-year-old. He's up in Wisconsin at my partner's house, Mike Askey, and then I have that female. She's a grand Sally. I sold her right before Plott days to Floyd Ledman out of Illinois.
Okay.
And he hunts Plott dogs, and but she was directly off of Copper, and several friends of mine have got dogs off of Copper. There've been several of them turn out. Wish we could have got more pups off of him.
Yeah, I like the look of Copper. It was like a lighter, almost like a yellow brindle.
Right, and there are several of those in that bunch of dogs.
Mhm.
So that color's pretty common.
Okay.
I've got one of my crossbred pups is pretty much the same color he was.
Interesting. Because Sally, isn't she a little darker?
Yeah, Sally's a darker,
Mhm.
or a regular brown brindle.
Yeah. Did Copper throw any buckskins?
Yeah. Denny Jones, and out of Ellington, Missouri, has a female that is a buckskin, and he actually named her Copper. But I went hunting with him just a couple of weeks ago. Went up to his place, and she treated a couple coons. My Walker bitch treated a couple coons, and we never pulled two dogs off the same tree. Had a good hunt,
Nice.
and she's a coon treer for sure.
Mhm.
She is a buckskin.
I just kind of figured, being that lighter yellow brindle, that he probably
Yes, sir.
did.
I bred. Crazy thing about that was, I'm sure you've heard of a Maltese Plott.
Yeah.
I bred Copper to a Maltese, and she had two buckskins.
Hmm.
And you don't see Maltese very often, and you don't see buckskin very often.
No.
But I bred Copper to a Maltese female, and she had two puppies, and they were both buckskin.
Interesting. I don't know. My limited experience with Plotts is I've got a red brindle male that I co-own with a buddy of mine because he wanted to be a bear dog, but he got in with my leopard jip years ago and had a couple. Had one buckskin pup, and then I had a couple of like the one male. He's red Merle, but I'm pretty sure he got the buckskin gene from his sire, and then got the Merle gene from his mom.
Yes, sir.
So that's why the buckskin thing kind of interests me a little bit.
Yeah. You don't see just a whole lot of them. You're seeing more of them now than you have, but you don't see near as many buckskins as you do brindle dogs.
I'm sure there was probably just as many years ago, but because they weren't
Yeah.
accepted,
Oh, I'm sure you're right.
People get rid of them or whatever because they just weren't registerable. So,
Yes.
well, you got any more good stories? I'm sure you do.
Yeah. I went to Michigan and got there a few days early. One year for Plott days, we got there a few nights early, and man, we hunted right there off of. I think the town was Bellevue, Michigan, was where it was held at,
Mm-hmm.
and we hunted right there off of the Bellevue Club grounds. We just take off and hunt right from the camp.
Nice.
And craziest thing I've ever saw, we walked down away from the camp, probably, I don't know, 100 yards on down to the woods, and cut the dogs loose. And my old Copper dog went back up there to by where our camp was and treated a coon probably 50 yards from where we were sleeping. And that I couldn't believe that, but the coon hunting in Michigan was just phenomenal. I think we were hunting 4 dogs, and just like I was talking about at Mingo, I mean, they'd be treed over here, another one be treed over here, and just lots of coons. Michigan probably has the most coons I've ever, of anywhere I've ever hunted. Michigan probably had the best coon population.
Yeah.
Like I said, on Friday night, I think this was the last year I hunted Copper, and this was up in Michigan. This is last year I hunted Copper Plott days, I meant to say. But we cut loose, and he didn't go. I mean, I'm not lying. He didn't go 50 foot from us. We cut him down a fence row, and he took 10 steps, threw his head up, located. I struck and treated him, and the other dogs backed him. And we looked up, and I mean, there was the coon, and I couldn't believe it. I thought it was too good to be true, but in Michigan, they're just everywhere.
Yeah.
And we recut down that fence row, and I was in a cast with a redwood dog, Ron Miller's Willow female. He actually bought her for me prior to this hunt, and an English dog. And at the end of the cast, I had 725 with Copper, and Willow had 650 or 675. It was a shootout between them two, and it was probably the funnest cast I've ever been a part of. And
Yeah.
what made it even better was that, knowing that I had trained Willow and she had came from me. She put on a clinic, and Copper did too. I think we scored on. Between all the dogs, I think we scored on 9.
That's impressive.
Yes, sir. It was one of the funnest casts I've ever been on.
Never coon hunted in Michigan, but I've hunted Ohio and Indiana, so similar.
Yes, sir.
And you're right. There's definitely a pile of coon out there. A lot more than where I'm at.
Yes, and a lot more than where I'm from and where I'm at now too. And it seems like they have big scores like that all the time up there. I think 725 is a pretty common score up there, and that just blows me away. Because where I'm from, if you tree a coon or two by yourself, you're usually going to win the cast.
Mm-hmm. Now it's kind of similar here. I don't think my local club, as long as I've been a member there, which is probably, I don't know, 9 or 10 years, I don't think I've ever seen a score probably over 400 or 500.
Right.
So,
what's the hunting like there? Where you right there around where you're from? You're from Pennsylvania, aren't you?
Yes, I live in the southeast corner. Kind of like you were saying, I go north, it starts getting more hilly, more closer to the mountains. If I go south, I get flat coastal ground. Kind of right here where I'm at, we're more rolling hills. So,
nice.
The biggest problem here is we just don't have a lot of big tracts of land. A couple 100 acres is a big tract of land around here.
Yeah, yeah, that can make it hard.
So that's actually kind of why I like the off-colored dogs. I don't like the dogs that shoot in there and hunt super far and hard, because that gets you in trouble around here.
Right.
So some of these off-colored dogs that like to hunt a little closer works better for me.
Right. On.
I know a couple guys that do have some walkers, but they've had some interesting nights. That's
yeah. I've definitely had some interesting nights.
One buddy of mine, he has a lone pine bred female, got straight from Randy, and she shot in there like 2 miles one night and got picked up, and he had to go to the dog pound the next day to get her. Like, he was literally, like, there was no service. They were calling him. So then they called cops. The cops came and got the dog because she got into, I think it was like a mine, or I forget exactly what, construction or something, like in the middle of the night. And so those guys called the cops. Cops picked her up. Cops wouldn't release the dog. They're like, you have to go to the animal shelter tomorrow morning. And you had to pay like $25 to get her out.
Wow. Wow.
So,
no, that's
things like that,
good. Yeah.
That's why I like I said, I hunt dogs that hunt closer, very well tone broken.
Right.
They cross a property line, I'm just like, tone, come back.
Yeah. Yeah. Where I'm from in Missouri, there's a lot of Mark Twain and a lot of state land, and it ain't nothing to. And in some of those places, it's not nothing to recut 3 or 4 times, in the same block of woods.
Mm-hmm. If I hunted bigger timber, I might try to have a dog like that, but like I said, just for where I'm
right,
at.
That just ain't gonna work out in your country.
No, unfortunately not. All the cities are encroaching further and further out.
Right. I was pretty fortunate to grow up in the middle of nowhere.
I wish I could say the same.
Yes, sir. I guess that what made me, like that big hunting style of dog was, as a kid, I've tried getting into competition hunting about, 11, 12, 13. I was going to some competition, local hunts, and I wasn't doing no good, but, and I just remember drawing out, Eric Henry had a female wipe out, Hell on Heels. She won the world hunt, PKC world hunt. And she would always beat my butt every time I draw her. And she just, we'd cut the dogs loose and everything would go this way. And she'd shoot way over here this way by herself just about every time, and have a coon just about every time, and beat our butt. And I remember him telling me, if you ever want to do a lot of winning, you need something that's going to be by itself and,
Mm-hmm.
and looking to get through there and do it in a hurry.
Yep.
And, I've just always remembered that, she was just always I never did beat her. She, she, she was a coon treer, but she would always be alone by herself somewhere through there. And, that's just kind of when I'm training them, that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm. Nope, I get it. I completely
I
understand.
learned. I saw Steve Gant and Eric, hunt them wipeout dogs, and do a lot of winning with them, and they still do. That's just the kind of style of dog, I guess. Whenever I'm working on one, that's just kind of style I like.
Mm-hmm. Did you go through a lot of plots to be able to find
Yes,
copper
sir.
and that style dog?
Yes, sir. I went through. I had some of the tree coons. Don't get me wrong. I just didn't have any that operated, the way that I really needed them to win hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I started hunting copper for Joe, Copper he was a hard going dog and just a lot different style of dog than the plots I had messed with before. And I've been hunting that same bunch of dogs, getting Joe's line of dogs, and that it is pretty common in them to be real hard going, real natural tree dogs. You don't have to wait around until they're a year old to tree,
Mm-hmm.
and they seem to suit my style of hunting better for me than a lot of the other stuff I messed with as a kid.
No, it makes sense. And I know, especially for something that's not common in a breed, it's going to take time to find those outliers, those that's not necessarily the style of dog most plots are, which is why I had a hard time finding it.
Right. That's right.
So
yeah, but yeah, I'm like I said, I'm hunting grand pups to Copper now, and we've got some couple dogs off of him still, and
good.
That's what I'm hunting.
What's the plans for the future?
Man, plans for the future. I guess just keep hunting these young dogs I got. I'm gonna as long as these dogs keep working for me, I always plan to have something, of Joe's stock of dogs on my yard.
Mm-hmm.
The two young plots I've got there's a half brother, half sister cross, both out of old Copper, and they're about as copper bred as Copper, more copper bred than Copper was, but as long as that line of dogs keeps working for me, I plan on hunting them. But I got a trooper pup. Me and Kevin are partners on. He's half black and tan, half leopard. He's been treeing coons since he was 6-7 months old. He's about a year old now, and so we're going to hunt him. And
nice.
You got our hands full, really. I mean, you got a lot of hunting and work ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds like it. You just mentioned 5 puppies within the last half an hour.
Yeah, so. Like that's like I said, I've sent several of my dogs to my partners or to somebody that wanted something to hunt or was looking for something to hunt because I don't have the big woods down here that I had up there, so it really limits how many of them I can really hunt.
Oh, I understand. Well, anything else you want to say?
Man, I don't guess so.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on. I've enjoyed this. Like I said, hearing about some off-colored dog success.
Yes, sir. I always like to be the oddball in the crowd. If you're leading a Plott dog, you're definitely going to get some strange looks.
Well, I'm sure especially when you were leading Copper around, you got some strange looks just yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Long hair and long beard that you had.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun with that dog, and I'm glad to be hunting pups and grand pups to him today.
Definitely.
He made me a lot. He made me a lot of friends and a lot of memories that I'll never forget.
Mm-hmm. I can only imagine. Yep, these dogs. That's the one thing. It's really common. You talk to a lot of people, and these dogs bring a lot of people together and make you
Yes,
some of the
sir.
best friends you'll ever have.
Yes, that's some of the best friends I'm gonna have for life. Were met through, chasing that dog around.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So, well, I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me on.
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Tree Talking Media. And until next time, keep 'em talking in the timber.